Hey there, I'm Kaylee Bing with All Up in Your Business, and I am so excited about my guest today. But before we dive into him, the main reason we're doing this episode and all the episodes is because I've spent the last couple years really getting to know businesses and their stories. And I'm a storyteller. I love deep diving into everyone's brains to really figure out what the heck made you do the thing that you're doing. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Donald.
Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Yes, yes. So for everyone who doesn't know, this is Donald Thompson. We work together at Walk West. I help out with one of his shows, but he does so many things. So first, before we really get into the deep dive of everything, tell us a little bit, not even a little bit, you do all the things. Just tell us all the things you do and your main stuff that you're working on right now.
Yeah, so I'll do it. I'll try to do it briefly. During my full-time kind of day-to-day, and I am the managing director for Workplace Options Center of Organizational Effectiveness. And basically, it is a consulting arm around how do we link culture and performance. And we have a global practice. I'm very excited to be a part of leading it. And it's a lot of fun working with executives and business leaders that are culture first, but need to link it with growing their business. So that's one. I'm the board chair of Walk West, so I spend time with you and the Walk West team and supporting Greg. And I don't do a lot. I shoulder steer a little bit, but I'm very blessed to have a great team. You all are doing amazing work and growing the business. So that's another thing. I have an executive coaching practice. I really enjoy working with emerging leaders and building that. I've invested in a talent and entertainment firm, the Victor Group, to where we're doing representation of athletes, entertainers, writers, and authors, and building a 360-degree brand around what they do there. I am the founder and investor in Executive Brand Authority, which works with executive brands. And I could go on, but I do a lot of investing board stuff, but I stay pretty busy. I like to have my hands in entrepreneurial things, but I also like growing and building high-performance teams. Somebody asked me the other day, what is your most favorite business? What is your most favorite company that you exited? I don't have a favorite business. I have teams that I enjoy building. And so that's the biggest thing that makes me smile.
Wow. Okay. I knew you did a lot, but like hearing it all, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just like the man who does it all. And it's just so cool to know you and know that you do all this. I think when we first sat down and had lunch, you told me a little bit, and I was like, you do what? Tell me more. It's so cool. And I've gotten to know each of these things a little bit on different levels. Like the Victor Group, I thought was so cool because we I don't remember if it was a 30 and 30 that we did, but we did something with them. Mm-hmm. And go sports. I try really hard to understand sports. I know soccer and I know hockey. That's it.
And that's a good start. Competitiveness, the crowd and the fandom, and people love their sports. I was at a Duke game last night at Cameron Indoor Stadium. It was my first time ever going to this stadium. It was amazing. It's like a big high school stadium. It's really small, and every seat in the house is good. And so it was really fun.
Is that at Duke or where is that? I don't know.
It was at Duke, right. So it was in Durham. It was at Duke, and it was pretty funny. I'll tell you a quick funny story. You can edit this out or not, but it's no so edit. I was working till about 5:15 on just day stuff, right? So I had to go on Highway 70 to get to Durham, and that is a mess at 5:15. Game starts at 6, right? So I'm going on all these side roads to try to get to the place. And anyway, I'm going to be late. So I get to the game. It's about 6:15, right? And I have this parking pass for one parking space, whatever. And I end up at the Iron Duke parking lot, which is their big money boosters. And that is not where I should be, right? So I'm at the thing and I'm like, hey, am I in the right place? And I show the guy my parking pass and he looks at me and smiles like, no, you're not at the right place.
Sir, no.
And he said, no. And I was like, where should I be? He starts pointing. I was like, man, I don't have time to get over there. I said, can I just park here? He was like, no. I was like, he said, you can't. You didn't just turn around.
You gotta go.
I said, but I want to be I want to be Iron Duke. And then he just starts laughing. He said, just go ahead. He said, I'm going to turn around. You park where you want. If you get towed, you get to you're on your own, but I'm going to turn around real quick. And I roll up in there. So anyway, I hadn't eaten. So I'm hungry. I'm late. So as soon as I get in, everybody's super nice. I'm like, where's the concession stand? So I go up these stairs to the concession stand. And I get 2 hot dogs and a Coke Zero. And so then I go to my seat, and we're right behind the scorer's table, right behind the Duke's bench, right? We got some really nice tickets based on some of the folks that invited us. So it was really cool. So anyway, the thing about this is because it's behind the bench, because it's behind the scorer's table, There's no middle rows to get to these seats. There's
Oh
only
no.
one way all the way across. My seat is 64. It starts at 85. So now for me to get to my seat, I got two hot dogs, a Diet Coke. I'm a big guy, right? So now I'm having to scooch through
Oh no.
20 people.
Oh
And
gosh.
just so we're clear, not a lot of them in this section look like me. So you got this big black guy walking through this section, and I'm scooching through, and I'm like,
Sorry,
please,
sorry,
Lord,
sorry.
don't let me drop this Coke Zero on these people.
Oh my God.
And so I finally get to my seat. I have a great time. It was
Okay.
an electric environment. Duke won. It was super fun, all the things. But anyway, that was my little Cameron Indoor Stadium adventure. And parking
First
in the wrong
time.
spot, which is the right spot. The hot dogs were great. But getting to my seat left a little bit desired. So I'll be on time next time.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I feel like I'm that person every time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Just like, just let me scoop out of here, please.
Oh
Just
my
don't look at me.
God. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that sounds so funny. And you've been to a Hurricanes game,
Yep.
right? Or no?
I have.
Oh,
My
I
wife
thought you were about
loves
to say no.
hockey.
I love the Hurricane. Like I'm diehard Hurricanes. Jarvis
Awesome.
is my man. Like I love him. I love Aho. Oh my God, I just love that team. And the energy when you walk in there, there's like nothing like it. And so I post on my stories all the time. And so I had just got my new jersey, and it's like the third time I've gotten this jersey because kept getting new sizes. I'm like, this isn't right. This isn't right. I post. I'm like, who's coming with me to my next game? I had 6 people. I want to go. You make it look so fun. And I was like, it is fun. The fact you've never been to one, like you need to go. So if anyone's listening to this, hi, go to a Hurricanes game. Also,
Love it.
I want to talk to anyone from the Hurricanes. I think that'd just be the coolest experience ever. Be like, tell me about your story of being a Caniac. But yeah, anyways, I could go on about hockey. It's so much fun for me. And I did soccer for 12 years. So I will be very honest. I am competitive when I need to be, but I am the worst competitive person ever. I was the kid on the team, like picking flowers and,
That's
oh,
awesome.
we should all win. I was terrible, but it was fun. So I did dancing too. So it's just I did a lot of active things. So all sports, all the things that you do. So take me in the Wayback Machine. Like when you first had the first idea of starting your first business, like what made you just be like, I'm gonna own something one day. Take me back to that minute that you thought about that.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine really goes back to childhood and selling Jolly Ranchers in fifth grade and having enough Jolly Rancher business in the fifth grade to where I rented out other kids' lockers and was threatened with suspension and threats, no big deal, got suspended, had to shut my candy business down because it was too visible. But I always viewed money as choices. And my parents always we came from humble means, but I always had enough. My story is not having enough to eat and clothes. I just didn't have 5 pair of jeans. I had 2 pair of jeans, but they were clean, they were good, and I was good to go. And but there wasn't a lot for extras early in my childhood. And so I wanted to earn money so that I could have the cool shoes that I wanted, or I could have a new weight bench, or I could have whatever that I wanted. And I wanted to figure that out. And money being choices then translated as I went to school, played football, all the things. But in corporate America, I didn't see a way to meet my financial goals in a traditional job. I saw jobs as a way to learn, ways to get your feet, your legs under you, to get experience, all those different things. But the most successful people, the wealthiest people that I knew were entrepreneurs. And that or athletic stars. And since I wasn't going to go to the NFL, that dream got doused in college pretty quickly. I had to find a way to move forward and meet my goals financially. And so my big break and what really taught me about being an entrepreneur wasn't really my first idea. It was my first meaningful professional job. And I was employee number 7 at a company called iCubed. And Grant Willard, my mentor, had founded and started the software company. And I was his sales professional. And he taught me the engineering software business. He mentored me. And then when he sold that company, we were able to spin out part of it. And I became president and CEO. And I learned through that acquisition that, wait a minute, there's this thing called equity. And if the company sold, wait a minute, you're here, you're telling me, wait a minute, I get a paycheck every month, I get commission for things I sell, and then if the company sells, I get more money. I was like, yeah, I like this. I was like, that's pretty cool. I would like to do this again. This sounds good to me. And so it became something that was really exciting because not only did I change my financial outlook, other people in the company made money as well. And so I became addicted to creating these journeys to where you could build teams, you could work, you could serve customers, you could learn, but you could have, if you worked hard enough, a dream scenario and learn how to do it again. And so that's kind of the seed of the entrepreneurship was in fifth grade, but the education of how it really worked was one of my early jobs with a leader who I admire and a great friend, Grant Willard.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the Jolly Rancher business. That's great. Like I think about like when we're young and I don't even remember what grade we are in, but they give you like the box of candy and they're like, all right, go sell.
Yeah,
That was my favorite because I was a Girl Scout also, and I'm a good salesperson. Like I could sell anything just
that's
about.
awesome.
And I'm like, give me the candy bars. I'm gonna go sell all of these. And then we had a chance to either go the chemistry route or the agriculture route. And I hated chemistry. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going that way. So I went all ags. I did animal science, plant science, vet science, all the things because we
Yeah.
were an FFA school. I'm from upstate New York, like the sticks of sticks. And so like there we had more cows and horses than people, and it was great.
Okay.
But then we sold boxes of fruit. So I was selling cookies, fruit, and candy. And I'm like, you want it all? I got it all. So
That's awesome.
it was always a fun time. But yeah, so that is so cool. So you went from Jolly Ranchers, then you said you did, so you've always loved sports then.
I've always loved sports. Even though I signed a football scholarship, I was actually a better baseball player than football player. But I just gravitated to football. I liked the physicality. I liked the teamwork aspect. You have it in baseball, but that going to battle mentality with your teammates is very different in football, and it really taught me a lot. And so I certainly played sports, son of a football coach, so I've been around sports my entire life, and it really shaped my view of teamwork, of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That people can have talent, but they can expand that talent level if they have quality coaching and they're coachable. And that mindset that it's really difficult to do big things by yourself,
It is.
right? And if you
Yeah.
have a team around you, if you learn how to be a part of a team, you can really achieve amazing results together. And those are some of the things I learned from being a part of sports.
Yeah. I, as much of I don't understand sports for the most part, I do understand a team aspect though. Like you really can't do anything by yourself. And I think that's one critical thing that sports does teach you. It's like you can't do it all by yourself. Like you're gonna tell me you're gonna get from A to B and you're gonna go all the way there and get that goal by yourself without getting knocked out. Are you kidding me?
Yep,
Absolutely not. And no, I think sports are just so critical. No matter what level you understand it, it's all the same thing. Like you have someone that you're doing it with.
that's right.
And I mean, I tried doing the whole entrepreneur by myself. Did it for 3 years. It was hard. It was really
Hmm.
hard, and I learned I am not a great person by myself. I get really lonely. I get bored. I think figuring out when you really need the person to do it with and having a team like that's kind of hard to grasp sometimes. Do you find that with?
I do. A lot of times people think that their success of the business is going to be the quality of their idea. And unfortunately, that's not true. Ideas are important. Certainly, you need to have a product or service that people need and are willing to pay money for. But in order to build a business that's scalable, right, you've got to build a business that can run without you, right? And in order to do that, you certainly in the beginning where you might be solo, you get your best practices together, you understand what the mission and vision of the business, get your first 5, 10, or 15 clients. But one of the critical things for entrepreneurs is really who are you going to be your first two or three partners, first two or three employees that form the nucleus of the skills and talents you need to be effective. So I'll give you a very quick example, right? In most businesses, whether it's technology, creative, whether it's organizational change, wellness, all the different things that I've built businesses in, I can communicate with the buyer, right? I can create the motivation to do business with us. But who's going to execute on what you sell? Who's that person that is very disciplined, very process oriented? So I always have to find that process oriented person that can package up and follow through on the commitments that I make. Who's going to help you manage the money once you make some, right? So that you're moving your resources in the right direction. And then we're very well versed in who's going to help you tell your story. So who's going to be a part of your marketing team, your vision team, right? That's going to communicate your story, because once you get a business and a certain set of goals, you can't be the storyteller on your own, one person to one person. So how are you going to tell that story to a lot of different people in a way that resonates? And so you've got to find a storyteller. So I do encourage entrepreneurs to find those partners, and they don't always have to be full-time people. There's wonderful organizations, Walk West for certain size businesses, but there's tons of consultants and folks that work part-time and their side hustle, do marketing. It's really more a fact that you understand as an entrepreneur that to get a big vision moving, you've got to have a team that can scale along with the quality of your vision.
100%. So going back, I'm asking my questions all out of order. Makes more sense to do it this way. So when you owned your first business, like when you fully had it all by yourself, had by yourself,
So the first business, like all by myself, is one of my consulting that I built in terms of helping folks. The other businesses I pretty quickly moved from by myself to team,
gotcha. Okay.
right? Because I went from zero clients pretty quickly to be able to do that and grow from there. But one of the early lessons learned, which I think was your question, getting a client is easy. Keeping a client is critical, right? Like that's really like any kind of business that someone's in. Getting a client is actually pretty, like you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Most people can do that. Keeping a client and growing a client, the magic, right? Because it's easier to sell more to the same client. It is easier to sell something new that you're offering to the same client. It is easier for the same client to be a case study and a referral to new clients. So if I'm giving somebody the secret sauce of entrepreneurship, it is make those 10 clients superstars, over deliver for them so that you really have that foundation for success, because you can point back to what you did for them and be highly credible, highly referenced, right? And that helps create your scale.
Yeah. Love that. One of the questions I always got after I sold, because I used to own a gym, right? So one question I always got was like, I want to start a business. What would you suggest? What's your advice? And I'm like, know who you're going into business with. Number one, like just know who you're going. Can you trust them with your money? Can you trust them to be left alone? Can you trust them with all that? I guess what would you advise? When did you know it was okay? My issue was I was really scared. I got a studio manager and I was
Uh-huh.
letting go responsibilities is really hard for me. So it takes me a while to build trust with people.
Yeah.
But I had a mentor at the time and who was another gym owner and he was amazing. And he's like, Kaylee, gotta let them do it. Like if they mess up, they mess up. You tell them they messed up, but you just gotta let them try. That letting go piece was so hard, but since then I've been able to do it no problem. How would you?
So what I would say to folks that have thinking about, right, like delegation and how to let go of trying to do everything yourself, it really just depends on how big your dream is, your goal is. See, if your goal is to have a small business, you can do all the things. If your goal is to have a big business, you cannot physically. There's not enough hours in the day, and you don't have the talent to do all the things that need to go in the business. So what you have to do is you have to think about it differently. You have to think about what could go wrong if they didn't do it the way I would. Most of the things, nothing, right? Like, let's just say, for example, you're really, really good at social media. I don't want to let go of the reins and somebody else do social media for me. Okay. But people forget, if somebody posts something and you don't like it, they can change it. You can take it down. But if they post 8 things that you like and 2 things you don't, then you just have 2 things to take down or have them review it with you. But you don't have to do all the work from 0 to 100. You have to learn how to do the work from 80 to 100. So that means people can get things 80%. You review it, push it out, right? If you're a service business and you're a restaurant and somebody's doing this week's menu, right? They go from 0 to 80. They give you 2 options of the menus for the week, the costing of the items, the different things. You pick the one you like. So what you have to do is you have to think about work differently, not the whole body of work, but what are the pieces of the work that you can delegate? And then you're the approver, you're the quality control, right? That's level one of delegation. Level two of delegation, right, as you move up that leadership map, is wait a minute, let me find somebody that can do things better than me.
That's been the big thing that I keep hearing you say, everyone say, and I'm like, I wish I kind of knew that then, that what I know now, but I'm like, but it's so smart and so true.
Like we're doing this podcast right now.
Hmm.
Riverside is a pretty nice system, right? The platform that we're using.
Yeah.
And it allows people to do podcasts without a producer, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, I could do my podcast without a producer, right? Well, why would I want to do that? When you and Kia help with run of show and the questions, you help get the guests settled, right? So I literally can walk into the room, right? If we're doing something in studio and everything is set. And all I got to do is sit down, re and hit go.
Hmm.
That means I can do three or four other things
In that time.
before I walk into the studio. And now my time is multiplied. People ask me all the time, Don, you have all these different business interests, you have a full-time job, you have a wife, married. How do you keep it all together? Because I don't try to do it myself. My
Hmm.
whole philosophy is find great people and let them shine. My entire philosophy is find great people and let them shine. Give them credit, pay them as much as you can, right? You can't, like, you have to have a business constraints, but like pay them as much as you can, right? Create an environment where they want to stay with you, right? All those different things allow me to be responsible for the results of a lot of business enterprises, but I don't physically do all of the work in all of those enterprises. I lead the work, I create the vision, I help set the charter for the team, right? Those are things that give you scale, right, in any kind of business that you're working on. And so, back to your original question, how do you learn to let go? You dream bigger. Get your dream, your goal, your vision so big that it's impossible for you to try to do everything yourself.
I love that.
And that forces you out of this. If you want to get it done right, do it yourself. Well, if you want to get it done right and you do it yourself, you're going to have a very small business.
Yeah. No, that's so it's so true. Like,
Now, some people, that's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with a person that says, hey, I'm a graphic designer. I want to do design work and I want to have 10 clients. And that's all I want to handle, right? But if you have a big vision for what you want to do, then you have to figure out how you can slice up the work enough that you find people that can do great things. Here's another kind of cheat code that I'll just share with you. When you have a job description for a role in your organization and you're looking to hire somebody, all 10 things you need them to do are not equal. So that means if somebody is 7 out of 10, but the 7 things they can do of the role are the highest priority things you need, then as a leader, change the job description so that now they get 100% because I've made the whole job the 7 things they do well. You have to think differently about how you work with people and give people a chance to do their best work, right? So that you can create a business that can at least run without you day to day, every day, right? Most businesses don't run with no oversight. Yeah, I know AI, all that, but like you have to have leadership in there and different things. But businesses can run better if you trust people and you hire people and then keep accountability high.
100%. And going off of that, the trust factor, what's the best way that you could see yourself like vetting someone to work with? Because this is where I failed.
We all struggle here, and hiring's a guessing game.
Hmm.
Like we're being real direct, right? Like there's all these tools, there's testing you can do, but the one thing that is really important, most things can be demonstrated. Why would you hire a writer without having them write something for you?
True.
Why would you hire a photographer without having them take most roles they can demonstrate skill set, right? So that you can kind of reduce your risk, right? Because you a little bit on that. And then creative folks have portfolios, salespeople, right? You can, how much did you actually sell? A lot of sales jobs used to require you to show your W 2. So if you said you sold $10 million worth of software, right, then your W-2 should show a certain amount of income, right? And we
Hmm.
would at least know that you could close deals, right? These are skills verification things, step one. The hardest thing is the cultural fit, the not cultural fit, the cultural add to the team. How does this person work with others? One of the things that we do a lot is more group interviews, more role based interviewing. So you get people to present different things like that. But the key is you have to remember it's still all a little bit of a guessing game. And so what you have to do is be very, very comfortable admitting when things are not working and not trying to overcorrect a bad situation, just moving on. And when things are working, over invest in the onboarding, the education development of that person, right? Because it is so difficult to find people that have the right skills and the right cultural add. And when you have the two things, that's where magic happens. And you got to be really thoughtful about doing that. And that's what's hard when things don't work out. But it happens. And it's usually about the fit. It's usually about the synergy. It's usually not about.
Hmm. No, that's very true. Yeah. And then, so going back to your list of things you have, the Victor Group, Executive Coach, Walk West, all the things. I guess out of all the things you do, what's a lesson that you've learned that's just going to be that one thing you kind of go back to all the time? And maybe it could be a misconception of something along the way or just one of those lessons.
Yeah, one of the lessons for me that really aligns is keep your promises. Build that personal. People are aware of your personal brand kind of internally, right? And I'll tell you quick this, but internally, right? You want to keep your promises with people that you work with. And that's whether that's your boss, that's whether that's your peers. You want to be known as somebody that's reliable, right? Is one of the top things. And let me give you an example that I've just invested in, but somebody that I've worked with in the past, extremely talented to run the client success division of this new company that I've put some money into. And because it was such a key hire, I was involved in the recruiting. This person just accepted today, and they asked some of their mentors' role. Right. And one of the things they said is that they talked with their dad. And they said, "Well, you worked on one of Don's teams before. Did he always keep his word to you?" She said, "Yeah." "Did he always promote you and give you credit when you did good? And did he coach you in a kind way when you needed some support?" She said, "He always did that." Her dad said, "Then, well, why wouldn't you take another run at it?" You knowing these things, those are the biggest risks in any new opportunity. I was, when I wake up every day, my emails, right? Despite what I do and the level at which, um, so it was really nice to hear that because as a leader, your brand is what sustains you. And I always want my brand to be that I keep my promises, I do what I say I'm going to do, and if I don't, I'm going to work day and night to fix it, right? I want that to be my personal brand. And that helps when you're trying to recruit talented people because your top people that you're recruiting have the most options. They could work anywhere. You,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that is one of the things that entrepreneurs need to really think about. Why should someone come work for you?
Exactly.
And things that has really helped me in my career. I'll give another example on this. So the CEO of Walk West is Greg Boone, and Greg is the leader that runs the business you're a part of that I've invested in and that I'm on the board and all that good stuff. Greg worked with me 10 years ago. It was an engineering manager in one of the tech companies I worked. So why is he willing to work for me again? Because I keep my promises. When he's done well, I gave him the credit, and I always wanted him to grow and develop in his career. And so when another opportunity opened for us to be able to partner again, he was willing to do it. right? If you think about Walk West and go chat with John Zarin, who just joined our team, our VP of marketing automation and all things technical, right? John worked for Greg in that previous company about 10,
Forgot about that. That's right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I use those examples to say, I don't always get it right, but I try. Does that make sense? And
100%.
people remember how you treated them, and when you need rock stars, right? And John and are absolute rock stars in their industries and their respective talents, right? You need to treat them in a way that respects their talents and promotes their career growth, and they'll do amazing things. And so those are a couple of what I'm describing, but very proud of the brand that I've developed over time.
Love that. We're coming to the end. There's one more question. I think you know me now to know that I love networking. I love
Yes,
people.
sir.
With all the things you've done, like obviously networking. I mean, that's how I
Yeah.
got this job because I met Javier at a networking event that I did like a year and a half ago. We met one time, and I just remember hearing about him through a friend. And I'm like, hey, like my name's Kaylee. Da, 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 da. We got talking. And I was like, I have this crazy idea. And I mean, you've heard my crazy ideas. I have them all the
Yep.
time. They just pop in. I'm like, what if? So I was like, Javier, like Raleigh needs a marketing boot camp convention style type thing where it's a 2-day thing. All local people come. People can come from all over the state. Like, what do you think? Like, we should do it, right? And he's like, yeah, but who are
Yeah.
you?
But who are you?
And I was just like, I know. I don't know you either.
Absolutely. Love the idea. Who are you?
And that's only how I got to know Javi. And so we never really talked after that. Like we kind of kept in contact here and there. And then when everything hit the fan at my last job, I was like, I'm miserable. And I just happened to hop on LinkedIn because like we're at Walk West, like we're very LinkedIn oriented. So it's
Yeah.
definitely got me to be in this LinkedIn mindset now. Before here though, like I did never went on LinkedIn. And I was like, let's just see what people are up to. I saw Javier come up at Walk West and I was like, oh man, he's at my dream job. Like I've wanted to work at Walk West since I moved here in 2020.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's fantastic.
Right.
Right.
And like I moved here in 2020 and I was like, I want to be in marketing. But where am I gonna go? I don't know anywhere here. So the first one that popped up was Walk West. And at the time, it had all these really cool like arrows and all these things. And I'm like, that place looks cool. Like, I want to work there. So I've just followed the journey for 5 years and I've loved what Walk West has stand for, all the things. So I saw him and I'm like, hey, I'm that one that asked you the crazy question. You still don't know me, but what's up? How you doing?
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm a major beneficiary of my network. A good friend of mine, Errol Reese, and he has a radio show with K-Mac, his partner. It's called The Sports Shop. And they were the first guests on my podcast 5 years ago. And one of the quotes I still remember is, your network is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a big believer in networking. And now here's the twist to it. It's not who you know. It's who knows you, who knows what you do, and how you make an impact. Right? And then the other kind of nugget, and I talked to somebody the other day, and it's, what do you give to your network? Most people are focused on what you get from your network, but the way you activate your network is being a giver. Who can you give a referral to? How can you help somebody that you meet? And so I always try to be helpful. And then when I need a referral or different things, people to reciprocate, because I really try to make my network an active thing. And if it's in my power to be helpful, I want to do it. Right? It's never hurt me to have a cup of coffee with someone and share knowledge or expertise, or refer somebody for a role that they're qualified for sure, but that can help connect people. It's just never hurt me, right, to be a giver.
Mm-hmm. And it's so true because the more you give, the more you get back in the long run. And it's never a quick game. It's always a marathon. It's not a sprint. I try to tell people that all the time. Like, it will not happen right away. And the minute you want it to happen right away, it will be slower for you. I'm sorry, but it will.
That's right.
Right? And so, wrapping it all up here, for all your consultation things that you do, and with people that want to either get into a business, they're not sure of what they should do. So, like, what's a piece of advice you would give someone, either if they should even start it?
Don't be afraid to ask someone for a cup of coffee that's doing what you want to do or something similar. Most people that are successful enjoy giving back, enjoy talking to people that are on a different phase of their journey. And so don't be afraid to ask for that cup of coffee, because there's a lot of things you can learn just from talking to somebody with a little bit more experience that can give you perspectives that are hard won, but their wisdom, right, your foresight, right? And I think that's a smart way to do it. So that's the number one thing that I would do is, as you're searching your next play, just reach out to folks. And anyone that's listening, reach out to me and connect with me on LinkedIn, because I do mean it. If I can be help somebody, whether them personally or through you, or it just is all goodness for building the ecosystem. I'm kind of an open door with that regard.
Love that. And last question. Is there any books or podcasts that you would to people that kind of helped you in your consultation business like that?
The biggest thing I would recommend is a book called The Six Thinking Hats. And it's by Edward DeBona. It's a great book if you need to be your own mentor. It's a great book to learn how to navigate corporate dialogues and planning and brainstorming, because it just gives a structured way to think about problem solving, ideation, game planning. And my mentor, Grant, gave me this book 20 years ago, and I use it with every leader that I coach, and I reread it at least every other year. It is a foundational element to how I think and how I lead. It depends on the need for sure, but I have about 4 or 5 executive coaching clients that I don't really have the bandwidth for more than that. It's not my full time, but I do enjoy doing it, and so that's certainly something I'm open to. But I'm always open to cups of coffee. I'm always open to 15-20 minute chats. I'm open for it. Now, if you're not paying me, it's probably be early in the morning, but I'm open to it, right? And that's how you know if you're serious. Like, Don, can I have a quick chat? I'm like, great. I'm open at 7:30, right? And if people aren't willing to get up, then they might not be as serious.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk. I've been so looking forward to this, and I love all your tidbits of knowledge. And like you say, and a couple other people, Greg said this a bunch of times too, but like find the person in the room that knows more than you and just talk to them. And like I could talk to a wall. Like I have so much fun talking, and it's so hard to listen, but like oh, I love
Oh, well,
listening
I
to you,
appreciate
and
it.
oh my, like
Oh,
it's
good.
just so much
I'm
fun to
sorry.
hear like your stories and all your knowledge. Where can people find you? Best way to connect with you? Let us all know.
Yeah, LinkedIn is great. So Donald Thompson on LinkedIn, and that's really the hub these days. You can go to my website, donaldthompson.com is fine. Either one of those places is a great way to connect. And I'll say this before, I am just really, really pleased that you're a part of our team. Thank you for asking me here. And certainly any way I can be of help to you on your journey as you're building your brand, doing things inside Walk West, outside Walk West, please continue to ask. Big fan that you're part of the team.
Well, thank you. I love being on the team. I have so much fun every day. So I never once question what I'm doing. Well, thank again so much. And in the show notes, I'm going to have all of Donald's, all the links, all the things to get back to him and his website. But thank you for getting all up in the business today of Donald Thompson and all of his things. So make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll catch you next week.